think it's just a monster.
It's just a monster?
I don't know if it's a god.
What if Leviathan has morality and is actually like a, you know?
Do you think he is a kind and just god?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, maybe not a god, but probably not a monster.
I guess that's a rough word. He is a being,
You're a monster.
okay, and all beings are good, you know, for the most part.
There's good somewhere. That is what I have learned from the cartoons and shows that I've watched.
So let's talk about the opening hand. So for those of you new who don't really know what Daria does, it's a spell boost deck. What spell boost is, and this is kind of like Runecraft's thing if you're not playing Burn Dirt Rune, which we've been seeing, is whenever you play a spell, there are certain cards, like what we see in hand, an Enchanted Sword and Blade Mage, that get reduced in cost. And cards like Mysterian, the new Mysteria card, that can get you a Mysterian Missile or Mysterian Circle, counts as 2 spells over 2 turns. Cards like that get you this added benefit of just being able to cast your cards very fast. Daria, of course, being the top end of that. And you just start speeding out everything, and you just deal damage in a way that your opponent can't really respond to on curve. And it makes it very strong.
So far, Leca is trying to ramp. He's got the early Dragon Oracle, which is probably the best card to have in terms of early ramp. But Crumsion has not yet found a Daria.
He has not. However, cards like Golem Assault are pretty good too. I mean, again, that's another double spell card, and I love this. I love all of these cards. Like, you just get 2 spells. You don't have to necessarily draw cards like you used to, like, you know, Insight into Magic Missile, into all of those things are good options, but now you can actually just play the spells in your hand and not have to worry about drawing cards, and you still get so much value out of them. I think it's great.
There's the Golem Assault. And I think you're right. Just the amount of access to spells that also give you very positive effects that you were more than happy to utilize. I think it really strengthens the case for a Daria deck, where sometimes you don't find the spells or the effects that you get aren't quite that helpful for you in whatever board state you're in.
That's right. Now, the one thing about the Mysteria card is that it is random, but it gives you either a ward or a 3 damage spell for 2. They're both really good options. You're either going to protect yourself or you're going to be able to kill something pretty easily. And now he did find the Daria, and now I think it's just going to kick it into overdrive. It's just, when is Crumsion going to pull the trigger on the Daria, and is it going to be on a good enough turn to where Leca can't answer it?
Yeah. So already Leca at play point 6, which means Israfil, Sahakwill is going to be active. So I do think that there are options available. I think he absolutely needs to go before something like a Bahamut. So we'll probably see it in kind of the next turn or so.
I don't know if you guys just witnessed that turn, but that was turn 5, okay? Produced not 1 ward, but 2, because the Mysteria card gives ward to all Clay Golems in play. And then also produced the Blade Mage, pumped it with an Enchanted Sword and an Evolution Orb, and then has the Daria to fall back on. Like,
yeah, and having to spend the Sahak Wheel, no tempo developed this turn. So it'll come down to what this Daria pulls.
Yep, this Mysterian Missile, not able to hit anything, unfortunately. But we'll get wasted.
Here we go.
Oh,
Ooh, gets the second Daria and the Enchanted Blade, too.
And an Ogler to play down. All good tempo cards here. Now, is he going to pre-evo? No pre-evos here. Okay. This is one of those plays that I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a Sybil
And
now can actually kill anything. Yeah, Sybil's a choice. If that Daria was pre-evoed, we know now that Scyther would have been able to kill it, and he would have been able to deal with it anyway. However, it's just those little things that you need to be thinking about in the games. Is it proper to pre-evo here? Is it not proper to?
So I think right now Crumsion's game plan is probably going to be focused around finding enough damage from hand to close the game out, because I cannot imagine that you can maintain a board state against Dragon at its kind of full power.
Not at this hand. I mean, Leca's even playing more board removal in the fact that he's playing Grimnir. He's already got 2 Bahamuts in hand and an Israfil. Plenty of ways to deal with the board. He's got healing. This is a rough spot for Daria. Even after an amazing turn 5, the Daria didn't fill up the board in a big enough way, and now we're kind of just left with some remnants here. Might just have to go all in on a Daria again, but as we know, that's not going to be good enough by itself.
Ooh, and do you want to be drawing before you play that Daria, really? Oh boy.
Just a bunch of card draw.
Which, to be fair, I mean, means that your Daria is higher. It has a higher likelihood of hitting something amazing, right?
That's true. The one cool thing that I do like about everything that's going on with Daria right now is the fact that it still has the same game plan as old Dimension Shift used to have. And what I mean by that is you can actually set up a turn where you play multiple Chimeras and a Golem Assault with multiple Golems that you pulled from it, like in a later game, and still pull out that cool tempo endgame to just push past your opponent. Now, that's not going to really work against Dragon in too many scenarios, but you can pull out that stop against a lot of other decks.
Yeah. I think this is dangerous in the sense that you didn't get a second Daria.
Yeah.
Or a third Daria.
The third Daria, yeah.
Because there's not a lot of places to go after that.
That's right. The biggest hit to Daria, I think, overall cards, I think the biggest hit against or for Dragon, I would say, out of everything, is that Dance of Death is gone. When you're talking about Burn Runecraft, if you're talking about Daria, any of these Runecraft decks specifically, not having just that really good card to just kill a big follower while also executing your game plan, it's just really rough to win anymore.
Poor Golem. How scared must he be? David versus Goliath.
That's right. Little Golem, big Dragon.
Oh, and he didn't even get to the Dragon. Just ignored him. Oh, God. Only 5 health left on Crumsion, and he needs to find a big card here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's interesting that he chose to employ the Grimnir here when he knew that more Guardians were coming out the following turn. It's not going to matter much, though, because of the Israfil and the Saha Quill on either of the turns anyway.
Yeah. Sahak, Israfil.
Well,
I mean, it won't clear.
It won't clear. Yeah. I think the Saha Israfil before the last turn into the Grimnir this turn would have been a more straightforward way to win this game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the extra turn's really going to amount to much here.
I mean, and at this health point, I don't know if there's anything that Daria can really swing up quick enough.
Did get the third Daria.
Yeah, there it is.
Did get it. See what he's going to pull with it.
You're going to have one play point to do something.
Yep. Yep. And that'll be it. That's okay. That's okay.
Yep.
Crumsion can still win
Round 2.
with this Daria deck. He's going to have to, as a matter of fact. He wants
Against
to win this round.
Haven. Let's think about that a little bit more. Right? We saw Leca's Havencraft deck with the Summit Temple and the Heavenly Aegis on the top end. How do we find that deck to operate against Daria?
No Themis' Decree is the biggest thing that we've already pointed out. I don't know if Haven can really do anything about the Daria, like, you know, just spit everything out on the board. However, if it's just normal, like I'll play 1 to 2, maybe even 3 followers in a turn and not filling up the entire board, I think Haven still has a really good chance against it. I mean, it has so many good options just to clear out early followers, and it has really great evolution targets with Ancient Lion Spirit, Priest of the Cudgel to just empty out boards. I think it has a good shot if Daria doesn't go crazy.
So here we go. He tries attempt number 2. This time he has Daria right in the opening moment. Oh God.
What was the joke that I used to tell there? They hate each other.
Yeah.
When they go to brunch and they see their sisters there, they get really angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just never want to see your face ever again.
That's right. And without the Mystic Ring, you know, the one ring that does keep them healthy, you know, a lot of infighting there.
Oh God. This is going to be an interesting game for Crumsion. Now, I think it does not matter much if you still hit a ideal curve. He's already not on the best curve, right, because he hasn't been boosting for these first few turns. But there still is a world where you can swing and you don't need to necessarily hit a third Daria, right?
That's true. He does have a great hand in respect to, this is a great mid-range hand. There's a lot of value in the hand. There's a lot of wards he can produce. And if he can pull out the right stops on the right turns, he can actually protect a big board with those wards. So I'm not feeling too bad for Crumsion right now. Leca does have a really good curve, though. Did miss 3, but does have double Tribunal and Priest of the Cudgel to kind of mess with any board that Crumsion tries to put together here in the next couple turns.
All right. Show us the way, Crumsion.
One thing that I've actually been toying with, because I love these double spells, right? Golem Assault, the new Mysteria card, and everything that it can do. I like to play it with Giant Chimera. I'm kind of a weirdie.
Yeah?
But I think rune control is a real thing, especially with cards like Nova Flare, where you just get so much value out of all the spells that you cast these days that you can actually just end the game. Like, because what are all the other decks doing? Queen of the Dreadsea, King Elephant. Like, Runecraft has the access to it, but not a lot of people have jumped that ship yet. They're still playing on the Daria route. They're still playing on the Burn Runecraft route. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Exo said so.
Exo said so. One of these days, you're going to see, I might even be writing an article about it next week, so you guys can take a quick peek at that type of deck list. But I think it has a chance. I think it's really good.
Make sure to include a lot of pictures in that article so I can read it too.
That's right. I'll make it a picture book for you, Rainey. Perfect.
Thank you. That'd actually be. I wonder if there's an artist out there who would love to like transcribe a deck thing into a series of pictures telling a story. It's kind of a little Acelia-ish.
Yeah.
But a more traditional picture book.
Yeah, maybe we could. Maybe even a flip book that had like animations of what the deck did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would make a Dragoncraft one talking about Ram Dragon. It would start on page 1, and then you flip a page and it's page 10.
You're like, wait a minute, what happened? It's like, Dragoncraft. That's perfect. That's actually perfect. All right, somebody in chat right now, get your artist friend. That's what we need. We need picture flip books that tell good stories about Shadowverse decks.
Yeah. Get on it.
All right, so here we go. This is the type of turn I'm talking about. Before, Havencraft had access to Themis' Decree on turn 6. This is turn 6 on the play. Daria filled up board. How does Leca respond? Oh my goodness.
That's a good one. That's pretty good. Yeah.
This is in my mind just so overwhelming. Like, you have Dark John, sure, that kills one thing. With the Evo,
and then
kills
everybody else.
2 things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark John is basically. Oh, he
Leca
just
scoops it.
Yeah.
Like,
In
yep,
this scenario,
you
Dark
got
John is basically Daria's weight trader. He's just saying like, hey, no pain, no gain.
That's
you
right.
you lose a follower, but instead
everything else
gets stronger.
yoked.
Yeah. May as well be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. So
Helping
this
out
is
with
what I'm talking about, the power of Runecraft these days. Like, on very specific turns, if you go off turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, maybe in some scenarios, you just win the game.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we're talking about too, right? Sometimes the sisters may hate each other, but you don't need it. Just
Sometimes
play
you
one of
just
them.
don't need it, yeah.
Yeah, just play one of them. Just tapping out too. That's insane. Oh man.
So we did see Leca win this matchup before. Haven versus Dragoncraft. Can he do it again?
Again. I mean, the win rate for Havencraft is pretty high. Daria Rune takes 1 win against Havencraft, so far these meta decks not doing too great against.
That's right.
Against the tier below, I think, as a lot of people would say.
Now, we haven't seen any Bloodcraft yet. I'm hoping we get to see that in the bottom half of things. I really want to see what this high win percentage Bloodcraft looks like. I'm pretty sure it's neutral Bloodcraft. I think it's probably the most straightforward thing that we could think of. But if there's a control blood out there that somebody's managing to win this tournament with, or at least get to the top 8 with, I want to see what this deck is.
Yeah. And you were talking about really kind of the pace of the game and decks that were kind of what the general feel and speed of the game is. Neutral Blood is probably the fastest out of all the decks that can
I would say
fielded.
it's like Burn Runecraft in the fact that it does sequential damage all the way up the curve. The difference is Neutral Bloodcraft doesn't stop. It doesn't have a stopping point. It also doesn't rely on sigils to continue dealing the damage. So it's a lot more consistent, and it's got a lot more easy card draw like Baphomet or Goblin Mage or things that you just play on curve that work well with the rest of your deck. Plus, Hector's insane right now. Hector's one of the best cards that I think is still underplayed right now. I think Hector does so much work, but you do have to put a neutral deck in place in order to utilize it. So,
yeah. And Hector has always been very impactful, I feel. But wow, again, look at that Summit's Temple, Snow White.
So good.
It's so good.
It's so good, especially when you consider pumping the defense with Aether of the White Wing late in the game, and that's like an actual just Dark John buff for your team, you know, things like that. Like, Summit Temple's just awesome. Plus, it does kind of take over the Sacred Plea role. It doesn't draw you 2 cards for 1, but it does replace itself if you do happen to draw more than 1, which is really good.
Still taking 2 damage, but at least he healed out of a little bit of it. There we go, the early White Wing to gain access to an Ancient Lion Spirit. And the cool thing here is Ether of the White Wing gives you +0/+1
Mm-hmm.
to the fall that comes in, and with Summit's Temple, that means the potential added point of damage.
That's right. And it also puts a really awkward board. Like, you can't Breath of the Salamander this board away. It actually just doesn't kill anything. I mean, you could Breath of the Salamander and kill one of the X3s, but that's it. It doesn't kill like a full board, doesn't kill multiple threats, nothing like that. So that option's kind of turned off.
And you are playing into the turn where Heavenly Knight can come down as well.
Yes.
That guy is going to do some damage.
That guy, okay, that guy is a monster.
Yeah.
Okay, he's from heaven, sure.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
What kind of well-adjusted being does 9 damage to face on the turn it's played?
And think about the curve right now. He's got how many in hand right now? He's got how many evolution orbs left? And he has a Summit Temple in play. That is already lethal if all of his followers die right now.
Yep.
Wow. And Crumsion setting up for, I love that play. It
Just
sets up
taking
for the
1/1/1.
Isser fill and keeps the board filled.
Yeah. The classic Havencraft scenario where you're board locked.
And while Breath of the Salamander does not clear the board, it reduces all of the damage.
Yep.
So that's, you know what? Crumsion, you know what's up.
Crumsion has been playing very well, I feel.
Yeah, he is. Crumsion's on point.
Let's see, now he's going to try to blow the board out. I think it's still interesting because you don't gain that value of healing, right?
Yes, and this is where it's going to start to get rough
Yeah.
because everything that just happened, we're still going to go back to the fact that these Heavenly Knights are still live.
Would you consider saving one of those evolution orbs for an Aegis? Or
I
do
think
you think
I think you have to, not because of what you see this turn, but because a Bahamut's going to have to come down next turn and your Summit Temple's going to be gone.
Yep. Okay, you are at 5 health left. That means Aegis is so dangerous.
Yes.
Pretty much every single turn you need to have an answer that does not involve killing, defeating it. You know.
That's right. However, if a Bahamut does come down, that is very scary for an Aegis to look at because Aegis doesn't protect against the Bahamut attack, and it means that anything from a Zeus up is lethal, and Crumsion does have access to those cards. So.
Yeah.
But Crumsion's also got to be feeling like if I do just play a Bahamut and he's got another Summit Temple combo, I'm out of it. That's why you play multiples, by the way, so that they can die, and you can get more value out of them over the game. Oh! Wait a minute. That's still lethal. That's still Evolve 5 face. That's still plenty of damage. Leca showing why Havencraft is a meta-breaking deck right now.
Too good. Leca is going to push through to the grand finals. And this is, 9 damage Storm, just to put it in context, right?
Yeah, for 7.
9 damage Storm for 7. Albert did 10 damage with the Evolution Orb on turn 9.
Yeah.
Aisha does 10 damage on turn 10.
10.
What?